All right, traders, a very warm welcome. I'm Devang Mehra from the Financial Analyst, and I'm here to give you the strategy and the outlook on the intraday basis for 5th of April 2021, which is Monday. And before we talk about that, let's talk about some fundamental changes that have been happening in our country in America. And coming from that, we will hover over to the data, and then we'll hover over to the technicals. So we'll grasp a good understanding of everything that's going on in the economy, in the global economy, to understand how we can play the markets on Monday, right? So first of all, I just got a couple of updates today. The first update that I got was that the unemployment data, the unemployment rate in India has come down from 6.9% to 6.52%. So this has just been released a couple of hours back by the CMIE, which is the Center for Monitoring Indian Economy. So that's a very good positive that I take. The unemployment coming down, which is a signal that the people are coming back to jobs. They're getting more jobs. The economy is reviving. We're coming back to the expansion phase. So I take that as a good positive coming into India. Another very big positive that just came out a couple of, I would say, minutes back was that about the non-farm payroll in America. That non-farm payroll means the employment in sectors other than farming. So, US added 916,000 jobs last month with respect to 379,000. That's almost a 3 times job addition that has been done as compared to last month. So America was expecting 679,000 jobs to be added, but they added actually 916,000. So that's a very good positive that we've seen. Again, that's a signal that the American economy is reviving. And we saw the jump in American, the unemployment benefit claims, that which is called the initial jobless claims. If you read the data of last week, that was the people who filed for unemployment benefits was extremely low, which is dating back to the COVID times. It was a 52-week low. But one negative thing that has come out is that the jobless claims this week have come up. So I'm just going to give you the data. It's on my Telegram also. If you haven't subscribed to our Telegram, make sure you click on Telegram, and you can search the Financial Analyst, or you can search TFA Investments. You'll come to our Telegram channel. So yesterday the jobless claims data was out, and people who filed for unemployment benefits in America last week were 719,000, which is 7.19 lakh, and as compared to 684,000 last week, and the estimate was 680,000. So it is much more than estimates. More people surprisingly have filed for unemployment. So today's non-farm payroll data, which is extremely good, and yesterday's initial jobless, which is not so good, is kind of contradicting. But I would say overall, American markets reacted well. Even today, when the non-farm payroll was out, I can show you that 15-minute candle. America has reacted very, very well. So this was the time when the non-farm payroll was out. So America really reacted very well to that. Markets are shut. The futures are going on. So things are fine. This was the couple of news updates. And how can I forget the GST collections have been at record highs in India. It was out yesterday, the 1st of April, when it always comes out. And this is another signal that, the sales have started, and the GST collection at record high is a very significant thing, because people have started coming back to their work, and the economy is essentially reviving. That is what it means. So this is on the news front. One thing I would not like to miss: lots of positives. I would say right now 90% updates are positive, but one news that I want you all to await is at 8:30, which is the Maharashtra CM Uddhav Thackeray will be addressing the state, and this is going to be about the COVID situation. Are they going to bring in more restrictions in Maharashtra, or are they not? Are they going to maintain status quo in that? Because things have not been looking very good. When we are sitting at home, things are looking fine. But people who are at the hospitals, etc., they know that the beds aren't available anymore, and people are being asked to stay home and do their treatments. So and also I want to add that yesterday, this is one very negative thing I see overall. I'm not saying from an intraday point of view, but from an extended market point of view. Yesterday, the COVID cases addition, I'm going to read the data out to you. So it's again on a Telegram channel. So yesterday, 82,345 cases were added on a daily basis in India. And this is compared to 73,000 the previous day. That's a huge, huge jump. So, and this 80,000, you can see we were back to 20,000 1 month back, and we have again come to 80,000. So is another wave of coronavirus starting? So just be careful, just be safe. That's all I can say at this moment right now. Another news I got today was Pune has gone into night lockdown, which is also the curfew from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. I think for a week. All restaurants, buses, bars, cinemas, malls have been shut. So Pune has started that, and I think let's await Uddhav Thackerayji's comments. What is he saying? Because if some kind of stricter curbs are going to start in Maharashtra, I think that is going to give way for the other state governments who are scared to do anything, because they will also start to do so. I think things are in Punjab, in Tamil Nadu are not looking very good. So if one state government says let's start restricting movements, etc., on a more restrictive basis, I think other governments, they also get impetus to do so. So that's about the news front. And let's await 8:30. If my video is still going on, I can comment on it when the news comes out. Now let's start with the data, because eventually I always read the data and discuss how markets could go. First of all, this data is the expiry day data, so I don't think that's very logical or very something we should depend upon. So on the expiries, I never ever look at the calls and puts data. I think it's totally worthless to do so. But let's play some attention towards the index futures and the stock futures, because that can give us some good information. And I'm going to throw light on two things in this data. And I hope you understand that, because, this data is like a monthly data, right? And you might not see something happening on the intraday basis, but some bigger movements can be predicted if you know how to read the data very well. So in the stock future data, the clients have been constantly adding stock futures. And I would say 6.45 lakh is a very big high. I'm not sure if we've seen that earlier, but I think, as per my knowledge, this is like the 52-week high in the stock futures. And it's in the last 2 days, it's been added about 30,000 stock futures have been added by people like you and me. So if clients are bullish, things are not looking good for the markets. But we did see a huge short covering happen yesterday. So yesterday was not a fresh buying, right? I'll come to that when I talk about the technicals, when I talk about the charts. Yesterday, we did not witness any buying. It was just short covering that happened in the markets. A lot of short covering, because even in the cash market data, FII is only about 100 crores. DIs were sellers, astonishingly again. But this is one thing which does not look good to me. So if you want to go higher, if markets need to go higher and follow the other global markets, I think this data needs to cool off. So I'm not saying I'm bearish. I'm not saying that. I do hold some bearish positions which are eventually in a loss because of yesterday's short covering. But it does not mean you hold your view because of if you're holding something. If things start to go, I'll give you some technical levels. If things start to go up, I'll book my losses and come into the call side and the long side, because eventually markets are about being a chameleon. And never forget that. You should be patient when you're in a good trade, but when things are going wrong, no matter how big a loss you're in, immediately exit and think about what's going to happen in the future. So this is one figure I don't like, 6.45 lakh contracts. This shows clients are buying again and again. Someone's giving them more and more and more of stock futures, which is no one but the FIIs. Why is the FIIs stock futures coming down? I don't understand that. If markets want to go up on a sustainable basis, I'm not saying for a 1-2 day basis. If markets want to go up on a sustainable basis, why has this figure from 1.35 lakh come down to 1.21 lakh? That's something you have to answer for yourself. I can't help you with that. So just exerting caution. So let's say Monday we got a good 200-point example rally in the market. And if this figure starts to come up, I would be happy. If this figure starts to go down, I will be happy. I would start to buy equity. I would start to invest more in the market, because then we can see lifetime highs. Also, we can try to come back to the ATH all-time highs. But if the markets are going up and the stock futures by the FIs are coming down, it's like a divergence we are seeing in technicals and in the data. So just word of caution. The second thing is the index futures. Always remember, as long as the clients are in green, which means that the clients are net buyers in the index. This means that, and it's come up. They were short on the index futures. Now it's come back in green. So if this figure is in green, means that they are buying. You can see that the stock peers have been bought a lot. Index futures have been bought a lot. So which means that if they are bullish, market should be under pressure because eventually we have to trap them. So this is another negative that I see. This could, again, this could change. We could go into shorts. It happened in November. If you all remember, if you were in November, October end, you saw in December, you saw how this figure was repeatedly in red, just like 2 days back. And as long as this figure is in red on a sustainable basis, as long as the clients are short on the index, you could see a big rally. What we've been seeing in America, what we've been seeing in Germany, etc. So just 2 points which I'm not comfortable with, but overall things are looking fine. The FIIs are also not very active on the index front. Again, I don't understand. If you had a good 600-point rally in Bank Nifty, in Nifty also good testing of the previous resistance, why is this figure still on the downside? That is something which concerns me. So overall, otherwise things are fine. But I would want to wait for the data on Monday, because again, this is an expiry play data, and I would really want to wait for Monday to get a better understanding. And if we do get a rally on Monday and the data confirms, let's start to go with the trend. That is what I'm saying. Otherwise, be cautious. Have a hedged position. You might be getting trapped. Don't forget, yesterday was April Fool's. So with that note, guys, leave this video a like if you like our analysis. Comment below. Let us know what you think. And if you're new to the channel, don't forget to like and subscribe. Okay, now let's come to the markets. Let's come to the markets. I'm not going to talk about the global markets. Everything is at all-time highs, and eventually India should also come back to the mean, which is the American market. Because I always say Indian markets, to an extent, in the absence of any event, should trail to the US markets, but that's not been happening. That's a very big divergence I see, actually. American markets steeply going up, Indian markets coming down. What do you think about that? Let me know in the comments. Because yes, when the COVID, when we started resurging from the COVID lows, Indian markets, I would say, were the best performers. We have gone to really good highs. If you look at the percentage gain, I think we are the highest compared to that. Is it because of that? Is it because our valuations are now exceeding? Is it overvaluations are happening, or any other reason? Let me know in the comments what you think. I would love to hear what you have to say. And SGX Nifty is right now at 100-point premium. So if you see the Thursday data, so SGX Nifty closed 100 points higher than Nifty. So right now, so Nifty has closed at 14,870, which means that SGX 14,970. So 50-point premium is happening in the market. So right now, 15,012. It means, if let's assume SGX is closed right now, so Monday morning, this would mean that Nifty should open at 14,920, a 50-point premium. That's the calculation that I've done. How to do that? It's very basic. I'll explain it sometime else. But dollar index has come off lows today. That's not a very good sign for India. Yesterday we saw a very good plunge in the dollar, which led to Indian SGX going up. S&P has touched 4,000 plus now. Nasdaq has also gone 2% in the last two sessions. It's all because of dollar getting weaker, and today it's trying to come off the lows. So that is one negative thing on the screen that I see. So the yields are not going to perform, but it's going to be the charts are not going to work today. It's a holiday, so we will see what happens on Monday when we wake up. But it has come off highs, which is a good thing that we saw yesterday, which led to the rally in the global markets. Germany is also doing good. We're at lifetime highs in Germany again and again and again. Good pressure on the upside. France is also given a good inside candle breakout, so it looks like it's going to continue. If I look at UK is about to break out. I think UK is something which has not performed as come also. I think right now, out of all the global markets that I track, India hasn't performed. After that, UK hasn't performed. Even UK has been consolidating. We are getting some kind of a higher low structure into a resistance. So the moment 6,800 is broken, you should start to see this level and further highs. So I'm just waiting for that. So let's see what happens over there. Uh, but otherwise, things are fine. Now coming back to India, Nifty. Um, what do I see in Nifty? I want to draw some trend lines on Nifty. I'll give you a detailed analysis of everything. So, just see this video when you're free. All right, because you learn something new, you'll have a different perspective of the markets, and you'll know where I'm coming from. So I have joined these lows, the 21 December low, 15th, 1st Feb low, the budget low, and also the current low that we have formed. And I've also, I'm going to join these highs from March. So these are 2 points that I'm joining right now, because this shows me a good, like a symmetrical triangle, you can say, if you know technicals. We are in some kind of a range right now, right? Overall, I'm looking at the bigger picture right now. We are in somewhat of a range. I also want to draw a trend line, something like that. If we start to plunge, this could be a support. So for future, let's say you start to fall down in the markets, this trend line is going to come and act as a very, very strong support. But that is not convenient right now, not necessary right now. So right now, even on the RSI, that becomes very clear. How? Because when you are between 40 and 60 on the RSI, it's a range bound market, meaning you won't get some strong movement without getting a movement on the other side. Basically, scalping kind of market is what I'm trying to say. So entire, the month of Feb and March, the end and March, you have been in a range on the Indian markets. RSI is still currently at 52 levels. So I would say as long as 60 is not broken on the RSI, I will not be very bullish on the Indian markets on a sustainable basis. If you all are very RSI followers, you know very well 60 is a very, very strong resistance that comes on the RSI. So I hope, I like to be called a bull when it comes to the Indian markets, and it's always most money is made in equity. So I would really like if the RSI in India goes above 60 and we can get some good momentum. So this is one, if you are a bear, then this is one good thing for you. So you might get some kind of a short covering rally, but you might face some resistance at 60 levels. So, but on the intraday view, that will not make much sense to you. So I'm trying to give you an overall view that comes into the market. This is point number one. So we are in a range market, 40-60 is range. So number two, let's go to the charts of intraday. Right now, I'm going to give you a very detailed analysis, so please watch very carefully. I'm going to give you all scenarios where you open, what should happen, etc. Because yesterday, what did we talk about? Yesterday, we said that if Indian markets want to fall, please remember, if you haven't seen the video, go back and see that video. So yesterday, I said if Indian markets want to fall, they will have to open flat, and then they can easily crash. But did you get a flat opening? No. Same was discussed with Reliance also. I'll show you the chart in a bit. So you opened gap up. Because of the fall and the selling we saw in the Indian markets in the last day, the gap had to get filled. That was already discussed. And exactly then, it took a support and bounced back up. So I told you yesterday that I'm expecting a volatile trade if you get a gap up. These were my exact words. So we were getting a good volatile trade, but this was not expected by me. So I am in a loss because of that. I wasn't expecting any short covering rally to come this expiry, but I was actually expecting that after a gap up, market should remain volatile. So somewhat, I would say 70% the view was fine, but Himalay luckily was active on Telegram, was active on your Discord servers, and he told you to go long in the market, and hopefully you should have clocked in some money by following Himalay's view. So hats off to Himalay for being active on Telegram and giving you the trades that he gave. So now what to do? Now what to do? Because again, things have changed. Yesterday, we were looking bearish. Day before yesterday. Today, we're looking bullish. So where do the markets want to go? That's the big question. Where do the markets want to go? And this same thing had happened a couple of days back. If you see 23rd March, you closed at the resistance, failed. You see 30th March, you closed at the resistance, gap down, fail. Could happen tomorrow. If you are a bear, you need this. You need this. So I'm going to give you the entire view now. We are at a very, very strong resistance on Nifty, which is 14,880, or you can say to 14,900 levels. Let's take a 20-point range. It's been given to you by Himalaya also on the Telegram community. Now, this is one range that you have to break in order to explode. I would like to put it that way. So in order to explode, you have to break this range. But it's very important on Monday where you open, because we have a 3-day holiday. Anything could go. It's 8:30 right now. Let's say you have lockdown in Maharashtra. You might not get a gap up. You might not be lucky on the upside. So we have to observe where you open. If you are opening on the flattish side, I think that's a good thing for you. And that's a very good signal that markets could go up today, could go up tomorrow on Monday, because whatever prices we were getting on Thursday, we're getting the same price on Monday. So that will give incentive to people like me who haven't gone long in the market to do so. And markets then can easily go higher. So if you get a flat opening, I would say observe 15-minute candle closing. If any 15-minute candle in the first 30-40 minutes closes above that, go long. I think we should get some comfortable points. The first target that you could go for is 14,950, 940 to 950 levels, and then 15,050. But don't forget 15,000 also, because that's a round number. So markets will try to stop there. So so when will this happen? If you open flat and in the first 1 hour you are breaking out, only then you will go long. Why do I want a flat opening if you want to go long? Is because right now RSI is also at 68 on the 15-minute chart. So if you open flat, this could come off and it could give you a sustainable movement. So that is one thing. What's the maximum that I see? Let's say tomorrow you get a big rally in the market. The maximum I would say is this trend line that I've drawn for you. This basically comes up to, for tomorrow, it will come up to 237 levels. So 200 to 230 levels, I think, would be the maximum that I'm seeing in the current market, maybe for this week. I don't think 15,230 levels should be broken right now. Number two, what if you open gap up? Now understand this, if you open gap up, let's say somewhere around this target number 1 of 950 levels, let's not go so high. Let's say we are opening somewhere at 950, 960 levels. Should I go long then? I would not suggest you to go long then. I think then we can again expect some kind of a volatile trade. Why? Because even the data suggests so. Clients holding huge stock futures, FI reducing stock futures. So you could get a volatile trade, because people who have taken longs overnight, they will start to book profit. Also, the RSI you can see is somewhere around 70. If you get a good 60, 70 point gap up, 100 point gap up, you will come near 75, 80. So not much room will be left on the RSI. So the caution I would like to exert is buy on the flat opening. I'll be fine with that. But if you get a gap up, I would nowhere recommend to buy. What you could do then is observe. I'll be active on Telegram. Himal is going to be active on Telegram. What you could do then is maybe then buy at the support at 487 on the intraday basis, and you could make some points. But again, it does not mean you blindly buy at the support. If you get some signal to buy here, then only buy. So let's say you get some kind of a hammer candle there, some kind of bullish engulfing there, some strategy of yours telling you to buy at the support, then you can buy. And then again, markets would come up. So we will tell you that in the live market, because 90% of the times Nifty, Bank Nifty have to be analyzed in the live market. And what if it opens gap down? Let me know in the comments. Pause the video. What do you think will happen if the markets open gap down on Monday? What happened earlier? What happened earlier? Could this be history repeating itself? We cannot predict the market, we cannot forecast the market, but we can predict depending upon where it opens. If you are opening gap down, by any chance, 30, 40, 50 point gap down, so that means, markets think like this. Markets had a chance to open flat, but they are opening gap down, which means that Monday, this level will not break. 14,880 then on Monday will not break. This is what I believe. Again, you have the disclaimer, I could be wrong. And please consult your advisors before taking any trade. But if the market opens gap down, I think again, you should get some kind of a volatile market. And what will happen in that case is maybe markets try to come up the high also. Let's say you open gap down and on the first candle, markets try to come up. So will you buy over here? Then no, I will say strictly no. Why? Because if the market wanted to break, they will not open gap down. So what I will like to do then is I would probably, if I get a resistance 880 again, I would go short with a 10, 20 point SL on Nifty. I think that could work. If that doesn't work, you could obviously enter into a buy later. But I don't think then if the market after a gap down can break resistance. It's also possible that even if a gap down happens in the market, you could get the very first couple of candles going down. So, that is something very, very important. Support right now is 14,700. I think that we are still in that range, 14,700 to 14,880. So let this range break somewhere, and then we can take a trade in that direction. That's about Nifty. Bank Nifty. Bank Nifty also good view. These levels have been given to you, and we have somewhat followed them. And this is somewhat I told you that if you want to break 33,200 on Thursday, you have to open flattish. But the very reason you opened gap up, these levels were exactly given to you. You can always go back to the video and see these levels, also given on Telegram. So we exactly opened at this range. There was no reason to go long, and because of gap up, it became a volatile trade. But as I said, I was surprised to see this rally that happened in the end. Let me know what you did. Uh, yeah, so I've just got an update from the Maharashtra CM in the news right now. So Maharashtra Uddhav Thackeray says if the situation remains as it is, lockdown possibility is still there amid the rising cases. So he I don't know what the full statement is. I would probably like to read that after I'm done with this video. But we have just got an alert that Maharashtra, Uddhav Thackeray, the CM, is saying that if things are going to go bad, if the cases continue to rise, the possibility of lockdown is still there. So be safe. That is what I want to say. And now what to do for tomorrow? Tomorrow, I'm keeping these trend lines as it is. If you want to break 34K, let's take this round number 34,000, or you can say 33,960. If the markets want to break this, there is a good gap available over here. So you could see a good 200 point or a 250 point rally immediately because of this gap which has yet to be filled. So if markets want to fill this gap, they should open flat. And after a flat opening, you could easily see some good rally coming into the market. Observe the first 15-30 minutes, and you could be a buyer in that case. Follow what I've told you on Nifty. However, if you get a gap up in the market, then you will open in this range. I would say expect again a volatile market. Resistance will be this point, support is this, and I think you can continue to be in this range. One thing why I will not buy a gap up on Bank Nifty at least is because RSI is too high. It's around 75. That was not the case in Nifty. Please understand that RSI generally above 70 is overbought. Does not mean sell. It means overbought. And I think 80, 85, 85 is something I've seen on daily chart of Nifty, but not above that. It's very rare for the RSI to sustain at those higher levels. You need some kind of markets to halt. You need some kind of technical cool off, which is in some kind of a pullback, but that is required. So if the markets open gap up, I don't think they will sustain. They will have to come down. And maybe then if you find a bullish reason, only then you can buy the support for a target of the resistance on the upside. So then I would say the range of this 300 points can be maintained, and we will further update you if any breakout is happening or otherwise not. However, if the gap down happens, then in no case you should be a buyer. I would say that this means that markets don't want to break out. So if you get a gap down, maybe because of what the CM in Maharashtra is saying, could be a possibility, which means, so it would mean that we are in a sell on rise market. Any rise then should be sold into, and I don't think then the markets will go higher. So to prove this RSI concept, again, I'm not saying this could not happen, but technicals work a lot of times, and a lot of times they could fail. So this gap up concept on the RSI, I'm just going to back test and show it to you of how it has worked. So let me just see when the RSI is overbought and breakouts have happened. And I think that could be a new lesson for you, in that case. Okay, so this could be one very good example. Yeah, so this could be one very good example. You can see that at this point of time, we had a good resistance, and market when they gapped up, it was a breakout. But why this got sold into? Because RSI already overbought. So this means that either you cool off and go down, so and or you just go sideways to a time correction. One very important point I want to give you. This is again, please take it with a pinch of salt. I've seen a lot of times, and I don't know who I love observation. I've told you in the videos. I do a lot of observations, and I've seen that whenever Friday or the last day of the week, which is Thursday in this case, are trending, like you saw yesterday, or a good trend in the market, good easy points option buyer day. Whenever that is the case, Monday gaps up. Monday gaps up, and whenever there is a gap up on Monday, it gets heavily sold into. Heavily sold into. So I don't know what this date was of 12th of March. I'll just see my calendar to see what is this 12th March, a Monday. Yes. No, it was a Friday. It was a Friday. not a Monday. So generally what happens is, now this is something you should be prepared for tomorrow. Let's say you get a gap up in the Indian markets tomorrow. So we are not buying, right? We will wait for at this price. Then I've told you previous resistance, which is nothing but right now 33,900 levels. Then we will observe, is this going to become support or not? So I have told you very clearly, you will try to buy the support on a gap only if there is a bullish reason. At this point of time, did you see any bullish reason? No. You can't blindly buy support resistance. That is what I'm saying. So if in this case you had got some kind of pattern, something, then you can try to buy with a stop loss of 30, 40, 50 points. But if this is the case, even tomorrow, you could even sell the market. You could even sell the market somewhere over here. Maybe find an inside candle setup. This is an inside candle setup. Try to find something like this, and you could try to go short on the market. That is what I'm trying to say. So if you want to be a buyer tomorrow, I would say hope that you get a flat market. Otherwise, overnight profits will be gone. Oh, and even in the gap down case, then there is no hope. That is what I want to say. That is my view for Nifty and Bank Nifty. And I hope you liked it. I hope you enjoyed it. Otherwise, we have taken your poll on Instagram. If you haven't followed that already, there's a link in the description below. You can always check that out. So we took a poll on Instagram, and a lot of people have recommended stocks for us to observe, analyze in this weekend. So what we'll do is, I think by tomorrow or on Sunday, I'll upload a video on YouTube, and which is basically analyzing all those stocks that you've given us. There's a list of good 100 stocks, and we'll analyze that list, and I'll give you levels and what stocks basically could perform in April. That's what I'm trying to say. So that's it for now, guys. I will see you tomorrow. Thank you so much.